In chemistry, we study physical reactions, but we also study chemical reactions. In chemical reactions, you can kind of think of like a math problem. You have these ingredients that go together, so think about like the number 1 and the number 2, and when you add them together, you get the number 3, and that is what a chemical reaction is. So today we're going to look at a couple of chemical reactions and some safety tips to think about if you do decide to do some kitchen chemistry experiments at home. This first one uses a solid, this little white powder here called baking soda. And even though it doesn't look very solid to our eyes, it's solid because each of those little grains of powder are solid themselves. So solids don't even have to be big. They can be really, really tiny too. Now, I've gone ahead and put my baking soda in this super scientific balloon. And in this balloon, we have just that solid and a little bit of air from the air around us. Then, in my flask, I have a chemical that you're probably familiar with called vinegar. And vinegar, it's really stinky. It looks like water, but it's not water. And in order to do our experiment here, I'm gonna give it a little bit of color, because color is always fun. So we're gonna give it a little bit more color, swirl it around. So now we just have blue vinegar. I'm gonna take my baking soda and control the experiment by putting the balloon over the top of the flask. And then we're gonna combine them together. Now scientists, one of the most important skills that they have is observation. And they use all different types of their senses to observe. Sometimes they observe by what they hear, sometimes they observe by what they see, sometimes they observe by what they smell. Remember that vinegar and how it's kind of smelly? And then we can also observe, we don't often want to do taste, but we can also observe by touch or like a temperature change. So I want you to be thinking about what you could observe as I do this experiment. Remember, we have a liquid, we have a solid, and what could we be making as we put those two together? So, ready? Here we go. So what do you notice? What do you notice happening? Do you see the fizzing and the bubbling? You might not be able to hear it, but it definitely is making a sound. I can tell you that my container has gotten a little bit colder, and probably the biggest one that you've noticed already is that my balloon has blown up. And that's because when we added the vinegar and the baking soda together, remember, think of that as a math problem, we made something new. We made carbon dioxide. Do you remember carbon dioxide from earlier? That CO2, that one carbon atom and those 2 oxygen atoms, that is the product when you combine vinegar and baking soda together. So we did what's called a 3-state reaction. Remember, we had that solid, that baking soda powder. We had the liquid, we had the vinegar, and then we made a gas, that carbon dioxide.